Hello world and all my friends and subscribers out there. I just want to welcome my new subscribers. Hello and thank you for subscribing in the last few weeks or so, and I'm sorry for my nasally voice. I'm sick with the flu right now and have been for a week. So what I'm going to be doing in my sixth part of this painting minis with regular acrylic paint series is I'm going to show you how I do my layering. So I'm going to be painting Gutrott's, like his teeth that are poking out of his body all over the place. So what I wanted to do was have that kind of look where you've got like a horn or something that's been rubbing on stuff, and it's kind of dirty, and where it's been rubbing it's kind of a lot lighter. So you know how you would paint horns and you would kind of have streaks on them. That's the kind of thing I want to achieve today. So the first thing I've done is put some paint on my palette, and the paint I used, which I didn't show, is a yellow ochre color in the Reeves series, and I mixed some fine artist acrylic white in with that is from Reeves, and also some matte medium, which, have I done that yet? No, not yet. So I will be mixing some liquitex matte medium in there. Okay, there it is. So always remember to shake your matte medium before you add it. So what I've done is just mixed up the color I wanted first, and then I will add the matte medium to that. So when I'm layering anyway, I want my colors to not be quite transparent, but I definitely want them to be a lot smoother than what they would normally go on like. So that's why I add the matte medium to it. I do want them to show up a little bit of the color underneath, not too much though. I don't want it to be like a glaze. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm mixing my matte medium with my premix color. I'm adding a little bit of water to that just to thin it down because the matte medium is quite thick, and that will leave ridges in your paint. So yeah, I already had blocked in the colors for the teeth, and I've kind of made it like a dirty browny yellow kind of color. So what I'm going to do basically is make each layer is going to be lighter than the last one. So I'll show you what I'm going to do to start once I get Gutrott in frame. There we go. So basically I've already got that base color down, and it looks pretty grungy and dirty, and it's not really going to pop out. So I'm going to go ahead with my next layer here. And this actually has really good coverage because it has the white mixed into it, which is a fine artist acrylic from Reeves. If you were to get more expensive paints, you get better coverage. Just so you know, especially with titanium white is the most opaque color. And if you buy titanium white and it's not the most opaque color in your set, then you know you've got bad quality paints. But you can still work with them because you can buy just a good quality white and add it to the rest of your paints like I have here. So I've just gone over and left some of that dirty brown color around the edges of those teeth that are sticking out. I think I'm also going to go over a few of the other things on him, like for instance the skulls and anything else that's kind of bone colored. I may go over the boils later on. He's only got a couple of those at the back that are worth really bringing out. Okay, so when I carry on with my layering. So I dry my miniatures when I'm painting. I dry them in between layers with a hairdryer, and I make sure they're completely dry before I continue painting over the top of a certain color. So all I've done now with my layer is lighten it up with a bit of white so that it's a lot lighter. And I actually think I lost some footage of the in-between color. So there's 3 layers on here. I think this is the final layer that I'm putting on, which is quite light. Yeah, I did lose some footage. Sorry about that. But basically I'm just lightening up at each stage so that the final layer is the brightest. And then I go ahead and use that on the skulls as well. And as you can see on the skulls, that it actually does, in a bigger area, it does shine through some of the colour underneath, which is quite good when you're layering, because you want a smooth transition. You don't want it to be really harsh. Okay, so here he is with all his layering on his teethy parts and the skulls all done. And that's how I do my layering. It's really simple. With these kind of acrylic paints, you could thin them down with water and do layering that way, but because of the quality of the paints, I would recommend adding a medium, just because it helps with the pigments in the paint. It just helps them flow a little smoother. It just helps things stay together a bit better, and it also can help with the integrity of the paint. So you can do this with your other paints as well. It can kind of, if they're quite opaque and you want to layer them, instead of adding water and watering down the acrylic medium and ruining the integrity of your paint, you would add a little bit of acrylic medium to the color that you've pre-mixed and kind of lightened to your desired lightness. So thank you so much for watching and putting up with my nasally voice today, and I will see you next time, where I will do how to paint your metallic areas with regular acrylic paints. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Okay, thanks, bye.
What the matte medium does is it binds the paint. So when you put on this really thin layer, if you're going to thin it down quite considerably, normally that's what a glaze is. And as you can see here, I'm mixing up my glaze, but I've done it a bit dark, so I'm going to wipe that up and start again. So what you do is you mix in water until you get to the right transparency of glaze that you want. Well, that's how I do it anyway. And so when you've mixed that much water into your paint, it loses its integrity. So it's going to not cover